Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the bronze place playoff game between South Africa and the USA. Now, both of these sides missing out in their semi-finals, but it has not all been lost because they still have a chance of getting themselves the third. Looking through at this USA side will be Joe Schroeder, Aaron Cummings, Lance Williams. Also, Talapusi moved into the starting lineup. That is due to a couple injuries the USA have had recently. Tupuola, David Still, and also Esdale. So no Perry Baker in the starting lineup. Also no Kevon Williams, both of which coming off the bench alongside Thomas Seen and Brazil. So a lot of changes here for the USA up against South Africa, who have also decided to do the exact same thing. Zane Davids, Ryan Oosterhuizen, Impi Visa, Branko de Prea, Safiwe Soyas-Wapi, Darren Adonis, and Shilton van Wyk. So it's certainly going to be a dangerous second half for these two lineups when they do get the chance to make their way out onto the park. Do let me know your score predictions in the chat for this game, the third place playoff. Then we have got the women's final between Australia and New Zealand, and then the men's final between New Zealand and Samoa. But Safiwe Soyas-Wapi, the captain, he's been starting every single match alongside Shilton van Wyk, who has been sensational throughout this sevens competition, doing the kicks in behind, chasing them hard. I think if I was a betting man, which I certainly am not because you need money to do that, but I would say he's going to score a try in this matchup. That is my one and only prediction for this match. As you guys know, I'm terrible with score predictions. If I say a team's going to win, they don't. If I say the other team's going to win, they don't. So now I'll say it's going to be close, either side by less than 7 points. Ryan Oosterhuizen crouching down on the surface alongside his teammate Zane Davids, both men bringing up their 35th competition. They had a good winning streak, South Africa, winning all their games in the pool stages, winning their quarterfinal, but then losing to Samoa in golden point time in their last fixture. The USA, they were also going unbeaten into the semi-finals, defeated by the Kiwis. They did have that draw early on up against the Australians. It finished about 10th this week in Cape Town, but Branko de Prea will be kicking off this one. Handshake for the referee, and it will be the green and gold of the South Africans taking on the white of the USA. The Cape Town Sevens, it still seems like there's a few people in attendance, less than there were early on though, I believe, after the South Africans were defeated. Hello there, Kiwi Lads, as usual. Hamish is going to rock Cape Town. Who's going to score first? You know what? That is one prediction I will try and get right, because I'll just go Shilton van Wyk as well as my first try scorer. Branko de Prea kicks it off down towards the 22, nicely taken for the USA by Esdale. Side of their own 22, big run forth by Lance Williams, looking like a tank of an individual. Actually, the first time I've seen him on the field for the USA. Now Schroeder goes across deep inside of their own area now, but a nice run forth from Brazil. Tries to find the offload back. In fact, it was Esdale there. Gives it to David. Still a lot of pressure here from Branko de Prea. Not allow any breathing room for the USA early on. Tupuola goes out wide. Nice run again from Esdale. And thank God you are streaming this weather in Joburg. Messing with the TV, I'll say USA 24/7, says Grant. That's a big win for the USA if that was the case. I'm not too sure when the last time was that they have beaten South Africa. Gone head-to-head quite a few times recently, though. Now Cummings going to be playing halfback. Goes across to Schroeder, still in the midfield. Looks like it's going to go back out to Lance Williams. Out on the wing. Boom, big shot on Ryan Oosterhuizen and drives his legs as well up to the halfway line. Impi Visa looks for the turnover. So far, throughout the first minute, we have not seen the Blitzboks with the ball in hand other than to take the kickoff. Now Lance Williams down the wing, tries to bump off Impi Visa, holding the ball with one hand, thought about the offload, decides against it. Offloads from his back. That was almost playing the ball on the ground. It's an advantage for offside against the South Africans. Esdale tries to go through. Another offload up. Now out wide. Advantage over. Aaron Cummings now still driving forward. Zane Davids got his hand on the ball, asking if he's allowed it. Referee says no. USA still with this ball. 2 minutes in. No touch for the Blitzboks. Rush defense from Ryan Oosterhuizen. Doesn't work out. Lance Williams still continues down the wing. You have to wonder, when do the USA decide to go for that extra aggressive attack up the middle? I think they'll just be patient here, though. They haven't broken the line too many times. That's going to be a drop ball, but it went backwards. Now the offload, and that's actually going to help set them up. Tupuola goes up the middle. scores the try, and it's off the mistake that leads to the try for the USA. I'm so happy with Samoa. USA could beat the Blitzboks USA. Surprised. I think they might 24-17. And I was like, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a billion in advance. So here's Grant there. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be back for the men's final, the women's final as well. My camera's slightly lower than it used to be. There we go. Put it a little bit further above my head. But Tupawala, nice offload there. In a way, Aaron Cummings gets the assist, even though his pass was actually just a drop ball backwards. USA are hungry. Hawks a little big hit at the moment, says Grant Robinson. That kick is successful. Everyone's left the hot tubs right next to the ground. They must have decided that it was time that the swimming stopped and that the finals action began. USA now leading 5 points to 0. 7 now with that conversion going over. It's kicked off by the USA. First touch. It's another handling error. I don't know what's happened to the Blitzboks hands, but all of the players, unfortunately, are just putting that ball down 9 times out of 10. They've taken that throw quickly, and the USA looking to capitalize. This time now, Esdale goes out wide to David, still one-on-one with Sevens Livestream I. Nice offload. Esdale down the wing. It's going to be another try for the USA. They're going to check this one. Good luck, Kiwis. There's Shirley Jacobs there. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome game to see it in action. New Zealand versus Samoa, and also New Zealand versus Australia in the women's sevens. That will be kicking off in only 20 minutes' time. They're just checking the feet. I think that's going to be fine. The USA score again. In fact, the scoreboard has gone back down. So I believe that first kick was missed. I thought it was, but they gave him the points for it. Looks like Esdale's hurt himself in the process. That's going to be 10-0 for the USA currently. But the handling has been absolutely abysmal from the Blitzboks, which has been a shame because if they catch about 50% of those ones they've been dropping in their last few games, they'd have a whole different result on their cards for a few of those matches. But nicely scored by Esdale. Just twisted the knee in the process, unfortunately. Has gone off the field. It is still raining in Cape Town, which is a little bit unfortunate. Means that the final might be a bit more slippery than anticipated. I know, again, big heads for the block might be wrong. Maybe just a lack of preparation or perfection, says Grant there. And let's go USA. There's 99 there. Currently doing very well. 10-0. South Africa, they've been down before and they've been able to fire back. Imagine having hot tubs on the rugby ground. What next? Told you, Hamish, USA, or feeling lucky, says Ruth. When we were asked yesterday on the cricket live stream about what we would do if we were donated $1 million, or when we were describing what we'd do if we had $1 million, I feel like we talked about having a cricket net, some rugby posts to be able to kick the ball over. Surely there's a hot tub somewhere in that vicinity. Maybe. Don't know. I feel like just a swimming pool might be quite cool, to be honest, rather than a hot tub. Branca de Pereira. Now going back across to the left-hand side. I do need to confirm we do not have $1 million, but Sevens Livestream is going to be feeling like that now because he is going to score the try for the South Africans. It was kicked in behind. First real attack for the Blitzboks, and they do manage to get themselves back into the contest. USA, come on, boys. Says it was Grant there, but Sevens Livestream, that's actually his first try in Cape Town. Just quite surprising with the amount of tries that they have been able to get throughout this competition. But Branca de Pereira, it was Shilton van Vick, went for the kick in behind, sits up for Sevens Livestream. And the USA, they didn't have a man out there on the wing. They made the most of it with that kick pass. And so Livestream scores. South Africa now, they'll be able to get themselves back to a 10-7 deficit up against the USA. They're just showing that slow motion and that rain. That it is relatively heavy. I wouldn't say it's completely pouring down yet, but it's not like a drizzle either. It is a decent wetting rain, which might also be why there's not as many people in the stadiums as there were early on. Medal playoff. This is the only 4th time these two teams have played off for a medal. That's quite interesting. Now, I believe a medal playoff, I don't know whether they just count playing for 3rd or whether they count going for in general. And also we have got the I support New Zealand, otherwise I support the underdogs, says Grant there. You'll be hoping New Zealand in the next game up against Australia and the women's, they actually come in as underdogs and New Zealand. Now, Cummings, what an ankle tap that is from Zane Davids. Big drive and tackle, handling error now from the USA. And a chance now for Shilton Van Beek. Went for the kick in behind, but Perry Baker takes it nicely, and now he's got space to try and accelerate. Great low tackle made by Darren Adonis. It's thrown forward, jumped on by Impe Visa. It's gone backwards, halfway line now. South Africans have got themselves the ball. That was quite scrappy from both teams. And just that little moment, Branco de Prea cuts off. Great bump off there. But the loose ball, the handling error again from the Blitzboks, almost costs them. It's going to be stolen in the breakdown from Aaron Cummings. USA goes short side. Roselle, it's going to be a foot race. I believe Darren Adonis is not going to get to him. And he scores in the corner, the big man. And USA will now get themselves to 15 points. Now, the question is, will all of these misconversions start to backfire for the USA? Because they've had a few. Unfortunately, Tupuola just gets sat down, got his ankles round the wrong way, and then just fell like he was a sack of spuds. At the USA, they managed to fight hard in those few seconds, then got the ball back, and Joe Schroeder, the big man, striding like he's a stallion down the wing, and just gets over the line in time. Also with England out, French kicked them out World Cup. Maybe Blitzboks woke up out of their coma. USA want this. There's Roof. They certainly do. That kick is going short because every point on the World Sevens circuit is important. South Africa, the defending champs, so they got a big boost. I believe it is, could be wrong here, but I think it's 20 points for winning a Sevens circuit league. Not too sure if that's correct, though. In fact, I can actually Google it because we've only had the 2 leagues so far, which means Hong Kong. I believe in Hong Kong, was it the Australians who were able to get themselves the victory? And then South Africa, I think they finished about 5th, if I'm not wrong. The head coach of the Blitzboks trying to fire up his side just a little bit more here. Sometimes yelling at them is the best way of doing it. But in Hong Kong, it was the South Africa actually finished in about 8th. So they didn't get a huge amount of points there. Standings at the moment, they have 32 points. So they got 10 for Hong Kong, 22 for the UAE. So you get 22 points for being the victors of the whole competition. So there's a lot on the line here. Finishing 3rd, I believe you get yourself 17 points. So that is what both of these sides will be after. The USA, they've gotten 12 and 15. So you're not too far behind if they get a big win here and kick some block behind the USA. Rub it in good, says Grant there. But that is the end of the halftime break. It looks like it will be the big man Lance Williams continuing in the second half. I think he's a real threat on attack for the USA. But currently an 8-point difference. They're playing a little bit of journey at the ground, trying to fire up the crowd. I see some cheerleaders as well dancing in the rain. That's kind of risky, isn't it? I think they're on some slippery surface. An ice skating convention ground if they're not careful. Going to be kicked off by the USA, though. By Tupuola, gets plenty of height on that one. Shilton Van Beek takes it nicely, tries to break through. He was the man who I said had to score a try. Brilliant steal from Lance Williams. It's just gone in, grabbed at the Duarte, trying to get onto it. Impe Visa steals the ball. There's been a push off the ball, I believe is the call there. So the scrum is going to be in favor of the USA. I called it 24/7 come USA. Says Grant, and at the moment, you're not a mile off. And also, we have the South African flag from Shirley. The chat as well. There's still plenty of time, though, for South Africa to fire back. We saw them 7 down up against Fiji. We saw them 5 down in their game up against, who were they 5? Oh, I think they were actually 7 down in their quarterfinal matchup as well. The South Africans up against Great Britain. And one final time, it is just around the corner, 10 minutes time. Nice work from the USA. Tupuola doing about 15 little mini steps, trying to step through, and he almost has. JC Pretorius has had to stop him just in the nick of time. Now around the side, saw a bit of a gap there. Cummings, a few extra meters. Nice work. JC Pretorius gives away another penalty. Off the mark there. USA drop the head, score the try, and that will be the number 10, Talapusi, who has been able to score it. And South Africa not hungry. Hi from Joburg. There's Grant and Kiwi Lad save the day. Amazing play by Americans. I think Blitzboks have to get some grip on their hands. Wet out there now, says Ruth. And yeah, if they were having handling errors in dry conditions, soon as that rain starts, the momentum goes down just a little bit more, doesn't it? And there's just been too many handling errors. It will be something that they work on before getting to the next leg, which is going to be in Hamilton, New Zealand. That's in about 50, I think actually now about 40 days' time. Still feels like a little while, though, unfortunately. Now 20 points on the board for the USA, make it 22. The kick is successful. So as long as there's no points scored in the last about 5 minutes, you will be correct, or relatively correct there, Grant. USA lost the bronze. That came up just recently, but I didn't actually get to see what it said completely. Right. It's going to be once again kicked off by Talapusi, the try scorer. 4 minutes 40 left on the clock. Plenty of time, really, for the USA to either extend their lead or maybe South Africa to start a comeback. Lifting up, it's a loose one. Nicely taken by James Murphy there. I think Duarte stayed down a little bit longer. Shilton van Wyk now trying to go through the defence. It's being very solid by the USA, giving away the penalty for no clear release. Rhino Hazen takes the quick tap, goes through Lance Williams, although he's still got a hang of his shorts. He's actually broken through it. The ripped shorts meant that he was able to get a bit further. Gets the fender to Schrader on the way past. Good low tackle made by Cummings. Counter ruck from the USA. It bounces out the side. Duarte does well. Gives it off to Delvin Blood. And it is going to be the try. He turns the big man Lance Williams inside out. And if they convert this, they are now only 2 tries away. 3 more tries come on. The USA, says Grant. Morocco for Soccer World Cup against Croatia final. Here's Johannes. Yeah, the battle of the underdogs could be on the cards for the FIFA World Cup ads, but it's a nice bit of work for him to jump onto the ball, found that pass straight away to Delvin Blood. Good vision, and Delvin Blood wanted to test out a little bit of that footwork, trying to get round Lance Williams to make it a slightly easier kick for the Blitzboks kicker. It has worked out because now kick successful, 14 points to 22, with still another 3.5 left on the clock. There's quite a storm coming off that Southern Ocean. Got to watch their footing on slippery grass. Says Roof there. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't get any heavier than the rain is currently, or else, wow, took too long there for South Africa. That's the last thing you need when you're 8 points down. Duarte making another mistake. Morena Hamish, slow start for Monday. It's raining and cloudy here in Taranaki. Good luck for both New Zealand and Manu Samoa. Go Samoa, says Kingi To. It's going to be an awesome game. We've seen it take place as a quarterfinal. We've seen it, I believe, as a semi-final before. We haven't seen it as a final in a very long time. I cannot wait to see who manages to get themselves a win. I just hope it's a good game for both sides. The referee has minimal impact on the result, because or else then I think it would kind of dampen the result, which of course we don't want to see. Refereeing has been all right in Cape Town at times, other times not so much. Talapusi about to feed the ball in for the USA on the halfway line, I believe, losing the footing there, down on the knees, and it's going to be the penalty, or in fact the free kick. USA decide to take it quickly. Going off now to the left-hand side. Nice driving run from the USA. Almost on the board. Duarte gets the penalty. And taking the quick dab now will be Shilton van Wyk. He's dropped the ball. Again, the USA. I don't know whether it's the USA that are forcing these errors by putting a little bit of extra pressure on, or if it's just the fact that they just can't get it right when they're hanging on to the ball. South Africa soccer best sport. Unfortunately, the players make it dumb sport for the idiots. No looking penalties, says Grant. And yes, Morocco, definitely dark horses. I back them. And it would be great to see the USA get a series title again. They've been so close for so long, says Commentary Talk. Exactly right. And I guess they're a little bit similar this year to Ireland, how they're always going to be roundabout in the conversation. I know that that's ironic because Ireland, I think they are finishing about 12th in this competition, but normally they're in that top 8 and fighting for that spot. There was nice work, I believe. Play on, says the ref, but it wasn't touch. It's going to be South Africa now with the line out. But yeah, they're one of those sides that anytime they start a competition well, we normally see them just slowly keep on edging up. They had that good win over the Fijians, then just ended up losing to New Zealand, which they actually still played very well in that contest as well. It's going to be overthrown by South Africa. Lance Williams goes off to David, still now trying to spin through, but JC Pretorius makes the tackle there. A try now for the USA will secure this win in Cape Town. Perry Baker hanging on to it, trying to break through. Another good tackle made by Shilton van Wyk. They've given away a penalty for not rolling away. And the USA now, they'll slow it down. They know that they've got about 30 seconds or so that they can deal to this. They'll make the decision. They've decided they want to go for the scrum here. So for the USA to win, they need to win the scrum, run the length of the field, score the try before 10 seconds or so left on the clock, get the conversion just to make it, or they actually don't have to take the conversion. They can just say, no, we don't want it. And instead, run back to halfway, see if they can get another one. Like they've just said, 21 tackles made by South Africa here. And they certainly haven't given the home crowd anything to cheer about throughout this contest. USA looking to score again in what has been a pretty solid performance. I was going to say a near perfect, but there have still been those little mistakes that the USA have made. They have been looking definitely the better side out there on the park. Now Schrader is going to play halfback, gives it off to Perry Baker. One more try could be on the cards. It's full-time siren sounding. David still runs it in. And that, oh no, I think he blew that try. They're going to have to now look on the TMO to see if he scored it. I think he blew that one, David. Still took it too casually, decided he wanted to be slipping and sliding, went for the 360 spin and blew it. And I'm proud of the USA. First time I see them get this far, they're going to become a problem for the top dogs soon. Many didn't believe me. Now they beckon me. Okay, he has got that try. Oh, no, clear separation, sorry. Yeah, that's a no try. Oh, tell you what, I don't know whether that is clear separation. David still can't quite believe it. That's actually, I would have given that as a try, to be fair. There was a little bit of separation, but then he regathered it right before he put, a good little while before he put the ball down. Anyway, the USA win. It's lucky that that didn't come down to who would have won the game on that little moment. That man lost his shirt in the crowd and was swinging it above his head. 22 points to 14. The win in favor of the South Africans, in favor of the USA. And South Africa, they will end up with fourth. So I believe that will give them 15 points on the World Series. Still keeping them relatively close to first place. That will put them up to 47 now. And then the only team that can really overtake them from here, possibly New Zealand, if they win the whole thing. They'll actually also put them up to 37. So we may see a two-way tie in that regard. I think that's the only way a side goes above South Africa. And he slam dunk it. It's the try. And I can't see the game. Effing rain. There's Grant. So don't worry. We will be back for the next fixture. Australia versus the New Zealanders. And that is coming in only 3 minutes time. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.